What is up, everybody? Say hi in the chat. I'll be the first. And we will get started momentarily. Where am I at? Negative space submissions. There we go. We already have some submissions going. It's not too late. Just get in the Discord and submit your design soon. Say hi. I will try to say your name. What is up? Lassith K. Hello. Manuel, what is up? Manuel, rather, perhaps. Saul Goodman. That was from a submission. Frustration. I guess that's the frustration that results of being too cold. Carlos, what is up? Anise. Yeah, the hat's just to hide the fact that my hair is crazy right now. I don't have any sort of, you know, love for Adidas hats or anything. What is up? Hey, I need to check something real quick. Does it show me as live? Nope. Nope, it does not show me as live over here. All right. So we're going to get started here. I'm just going to let people filter in. It has been like 2 months, I think, since I last streamed, so this is cool. It's been a while. I've been really busy. Basically, during that entire time, I've been working on a new Scrimba course, which will be out perhaps next week, late next week, or the beginning of the next week. Yeah. Snakes are, yeah. The one massive one that I just got, she, you know, she's not settled in yet. I tried feeding her, but she just didn't want to eat yet, you know. So I wasted like $40 of food so far, like rabbits and a guinea pig. And let me show the snake for those of you who haven't seen her. She is a beast. Here's a Facebook video. Check this out. This is her in my basement. She's 17 foot long, and she's a reticulated python. Look at her just climbing. She just goes all the way across. She wasn't a very, like the person I bought from, she was like in an 8x3 enclosure. This is a 15 foot by 6.5 feet by 5 feet tall enclosure. Yeah, she's awesome. 115 pounds, so it's like I can't like get her out myself. She's that large. Anyhow, let's close that. All right. All right, let's get this started. Okay. So for those of you who are new to this, which there may be quite a few of you because it's been 2 months since I did this, basically this is a live UI UX review show where you submit your designs or design rather, and I will take a look at them and give my thoughts about what could be improved, what's good. We'll also do a rating where you get the chat involved, to rate it on a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being the worst, 10 being the best. And basically, you just click on the YouTube description, you go to Discord, there's a link that says Discord, and then this chat application will show up. If it's your first time there, you'll have to do some stuff to unlock these other channels, just to prove you're not a bot and all that stuff. But then you have to go to negative space submissions in this channel, and then just submit it, and hope that I get to it. Most of them I don't, because it's an hour long, and you know I only have so much time. However, if you really do want me to get to your submission, you can send in a super chat. And it has to be above at least $5 US, all right? Anything less than that is just you showing your appreciation. The reason I did that because everybody was sending really tiny super chat amounts, and then everybody was getting skipped in here, perhaps who couldn't pay or didn't have the ability to pay or whatever. So at least $5 for that. And with that said, let's go ahead and get started. Okay, all right. Let's start up here. Where are we? Wait, I'm going way too... Wait, where is my... There we go. That's the first one. Big Dawn. Okay, you might just have to do the standard fit to screen or sizing, whatever. Okay. I don't really like doing Figma prototypes and Adobe XD. I like to see it live, but I'll do it. I will still do it. Okay. All right, here's our first one. I'm not sure if it frames it better if I just click play. We'll see. Actually, I kind of want to go back to this one. It's just easier for me to see everything. All right, so pretty decent header here with good white space. On the top, bottom, everything is aligned pretty solid. The type looks good. This area right here, this little kind of like little blobbish type thing over here, I mean, it's okay. It's a little, yeah, it's fine. I guess it's fine. I might want to see it pulled out more so we can get just things out a little bit this way, but that's not a big deal. The letter spacing right here, or the line height rather, I'd probably bring that in a little bit closer because there's quite a bit here. So bring that in. What is this? Montserrat? No, DM Sands. Okay. It looks very similar to Montserrat. Obviously, it's a very simple layout, but the type work is good. Good white space, good colored contrast. If you want to work in a little bit more color, you probably could. But again, how it is isn't like wrong or anything. I would say these need to be. I don't know why there's so much space here in the middle, or at the bottom rather. So I'm not sure if there's supposed to be a button here or what, but it looks a little strange to me, not filled. You know, having something there at least. Subjects. Yeah, overall, not too bad. Everything here looks pretty solid, in my opinion. Nothing that's really happening that's too bad or too off. All right, what do you guys think this person should get for a rating? 1 being the worst, 10 being the best. I would probably move this section. I can't move anything. Over here a little bit more. It just seems like everything's up here in the corner, pushed up a little bit too out of focus. But yeah, 1 being the worst, 10 being the best. Let me know what you all think this person should get. For me, I'm going to give this one like a... What am I going to give this? What am I going to give this? Yeah, I think this is a solid 7 or so. Yeah, pretty solid. It is a prototype, so you know, I ultimately I do like to see it live in the browser. So I can't give it like a really high score because of that, but for what it is, pretty solid. All right, cool. Oh wait, somebody gave me a super chat. Frank 729 right here. Thank you very much for the super chat. That will certainly go towards my alcohol tonight. The wife and the kids. Ooh, didn't want to do that. The wife and the kids are leaving town for the night. So like the first time in 2 years I'm alone. I'm going to be partying hardcore. I don't even know where I'm going to end up. All right. Next up. All right, here we go. So this is the super chat. You're gardening and landscaping expert. All right, so this, I love projects like this because this is a real world project. It's not just some fake lorem ipsum. This is probably for somebody's, either his business or a client that he did this for. All right. Okay, so first off, pretty standard header, very minute detail here. The little icon, that should be right here, lined up nice and left to this column that's been established by the logo in this type here. Tiny gripe, you know, it's not a big deal. Otherwise, I like this little subheader portion. It's more of an afterthought where you would include stuff like social media links and a phone number and all that. Homepage services, credentials, about us. We have a contact. This is all solid, good white space, color contrast. Your gardening and landscaping expert. So I would say if this is a, I like the nice, subtle, smooth transitions and the animations in. I would say if I were the owner of this business, your goal is to get people to contact you or reach out to hire you. Essentially, I would have some sort of call to action in this. This is a nice photograph. This is a good type. The photograph works well here as a background image. There's good contrast, but I would still have some sort of maybe a form right here, or just at least a prominent phone number or something. That way you're giving people direction right away because you want to be hired here. Outside of that, I think maybe just slightly refactoring the white space between these three areas might be ideal. Now again, this is like really tiny. Like, let's see here, margin top, let's take that off. Wait, no. Maybe negative 0.25 rem. And then at the bottom, we'll do a margin bottom. Not 2 rem. I think I might kind of like that better and maybe push down to learn more slightly down further. Let's see here. Again, this is me being so nitpicky. Margin top. Yeah, maybe 1.2 rem. There, I like that better because then we have the headline and sub-headline neatly tucked together a little bit more. Then we have this blip of text that has a little bit more room on the top and bottom, and then learn more further away. So this is my change, and if I refresh, we'll see the original. Yeah, so that's the original. Again, it's such a minute detail. Coming up here, we have a subtle watermark. It says services, probably used with a pseudo element, possibly. Let's see. Actually, I'm kind of curious to see how they did this. Anyhow, no, that probably could have been achieved those just through one HTML element using the before and after pseudo elements. This I would probably bold up or make slightly larger, and or you could do both, just to create more visual hierarchy between these two elements. I do like the icons. I like the cards. I like the white. The spacing is nice and consistent and even, vertically and horizontally. Nice. Very good. What do you think this person should get for a rating? 1 being the worst, 10 being the best. Let me know in the chat. And I will give my thoughts here in a second. Jeez. My water here smells. It's never good to have smelly water. Jesus. I'm gonna say for this, I'm gonna give this one a 7.7. 7 points, yeah, around there. I think that's pretty fair. Yeah, very good. All right, next up was this person. Estate Studios. All right, let's see. All right, refresh. Did we have some animation? Yeah, we did have some interesting, weird animation. What was that? Like there's something popped up over here? All right, not there anymore. All right, Melbourne's home of real estate media, photography, video, aerial, and virtual. That's kind of interesting. These like the weird toggle buttons. I'm not sure what exactly they do. Like aerial, we toggle on and what happens? I guess it's just a way to switch. That's a weird kind of user interface pattern just to switch between slides. For me, it's a little bit confusing, I'll be honest. Let's see here. Photography, blah, blah, blah. All right, so right here in this section, there's too much stuff happening in terms of graphics and just, you know, things happening all over visually. We have this thing right here, you know, just this phone and this thing without this little background right here and without being so close to this whole section at the bottom would be more than enough, because we just have a lot of stuff happening here, a lot of different graphical elements. It's just too busy. So I would work on simplifying this area as much as possible. So these icons and the lack of white space, so you need to fix that. Make the icons a bit smaller and spread everything out vertically in terms of white space a bit more so that each of these areas are contained a lot better and separated visually with more vertical white space. It also sort of seems like I've zoomed up my browser, but I haven't, you know, like kind of like this. So I might want to scale things down just a bit because it's really quite a bit in your face. Let's see, quote. So when it comes to something important like describing your business's process or how you work or whatever, I'm not sure if it makes sense to require them to click in order to learn about each of these things, because there's only a few sentences in each one of these. What makes sense, because there's 4 of them, put 2 columns and 2 rows. So you have 1, 2, 3, 4, and then just have them all lined out. You can have like an icon associated with each one of them. That way it's less work on behalf of the user to read and access this information. Another quite busy area. One thing I would do to simplify this, I'm not sure if I'll be able to, depending on how you've done the code. Yeah, like I would. That's a SVG background. I'm not sure if. Let's see here. Let's see if I can do this. Yeah, for some reason it's not working. What I wanted to do is just take this dark color here, this high contrast element, make it very light gray, just barely lighter than the white background, and then take this and make this black or something. And then that way you don't have this big old block right here, because this block it's not really important. We already have this block right here established with the embed. All right. So as far as the placeholder values, mimicking the actual label, don't need to do that. Take out the information from the placeholder attribute in your HTML and just leave these blank. Also, there's been studies about this when it comes to your text fields. Don't rely simply on putting border bottom, because some people get confused and they think they're just like separators, and they're not actual areas where you specify content or information. So I've heard. All right, so what do you think this person should get for a rating? 1 being the worst and 10 being the best. Let me know what you think. God, that water sucks. All right. For this, I mean, it's not horrible. A lot of the design was pretty good. So I'm gonna say for this, we're gonna give this one a 6.3 or so. A lot of you guys really nailed him at 4. I think it's better than 4 for sure. All right. Next up, I asked Dev. No, it's Isaac Dev or something like that. All right, this is interesting. All right, let's see what's happening here. Refresh. Wait, what? What's happening? Refresh. What happened? I did just see like a user interface of some sort, and then it just disappeared. What's going on? I'm getting trolled, I think. What is happening? Oh, wait. No, for some reason it was scrolled down. All right, well, whatever. Okay. So we see this says dummy text here. Obviously, you have issues, being that on this wider viewport, maybe you didn't check this. Obviously, you need to check it if it's a live project. Presumably, you're still working on it because you have dummy text and lorem ipsum right here. But I have to rate based on what I see here, and not based on what I think it could be. So with that said, of course, this tiny text here, you got to move that sucker over here a little bit more. You can see there's already a column defined where it says old, like right here. This is where the layout container ends. Just put that over there, I would say, perhaps. I like the interesting idea here. Maybe not making it a huge white thing, but maybe just a really just slightly lighter than the black background, so it's less of a feature, I would say. It's just a random diagonal sort of line going through here with an angle. I asked portfolio, this website is not optimized for mobile devices, so screw you if you're on a phone. I understand. Maybe you just haven't worked on it yet. It's so incomplete. I can't really give a good review though. So with that said, not even going to worry about a rating. Next time, submit something that's more finished. Thank you very much. All right, next one. Oops, I'm trying to scale it. Okay, there we go. We got a tiny little scroll bar right there. Hi, I'm Manuel, a programmer and designer. Get more creative with your headlines. That's something I talk about a lot. Also, if this is only the information that you're going to have, this is all the information you're going to have in your hero section, space that stuff out way more, you know? It's just, everything's just clumped right there in the center. I see this often, I don't know why. Margin, bottom, 3rem or 3M, and of course it doesn't work. What's up with everybody using the font HTML property? What's going on with that? Margin, bottom. What? It doesn't, margin doesn't want to work here for some reason. Okay, fine, we'll do it on the H1 I didn't see that. All right, so there shouldn't be that many HTML elements, honestly. There we go. So like 1.5 rem, and then space this sucker like way out. So we got H2 with a font and then another font. What's going on there? So you have an H2, you should only have just an H2 element with nothing else inside of it except for the text, programmer, and designer. I don't know why there's a font here and a font element embedded inside of it. I'm not sure if you're using some sort of like website builder that has, you know, that's doing this, but you shouldn't, yeah, no. You notice the margin bottom is only 0.1em. Yeah, we want to change that. And I guess this little line, you could achieve that line through the before pseudo element on the H2. So H2 colon before, and then, yeah. Watch my previous video that I uploaded yesterday about how to do that. Oh. You have no idea what happened to the HTML. Maybe you're using some sort of weird processor that's screwing up or around, screwing with things. Margin bottom. Yeah, at least at the minimum, space it out like that. But still, this leaves much to be desired because there's not at least any type of background or some sort of texture, maybe some sort of very low contrast icons in the background. There's many different things you could do, but I would like to see it filled out a little bit more, and at least capitalize the first letter of your name. Okay. All right. Next up, this is filled out better. I do like this more. Say for the cards, you know, maybe something like this, paragraph, color, blue. Nothing's working just because of all the weird HTML elements. I didn't want to make the color blue. I would just want to get access to the color picker to try to change this slightly. And I usually have a trick for doing that, but I can't do it right now to show you what color I would use. Probably a little bit more padding away from the, you know, this area overall. I mean, maybe I will show. I'll tinker around with it. I just don't know what's happening. Color is white. Why is there two font elements here? Oh god, it's changing all of them. Don't want that. Okay. So even color gray kind of works there. I just, this is so strange to me about why all those things are showing up. So if I take this and we come up maybe like around here, I like that color much better instead of just having white. Do the same thing here. That way it creates a little bit more separation visually between this type and this type right here, and not everything is completely white. I would do the same thing for here, here, here. not the titles though. And then maybe a little bit more margin or white space at the bottom of these elements. I would scale down the size of these, increase white space around all this stuff around here too, as well. All right, what do y'all think this person should get for a rating? 1 being the worst, 10 being the best. I'm going to go ahead and give this one a probably just a flat out like, yeah, I agree with most. Everybody's saying 6, and I pretty much agree. Yeah, or rather, I do agree because that's what I said. All right, not a very busy. Usually when I don't stream for a long time and come back, we get like at least 300 or 400 listen or people watching. I guess I'm just not popular anymore. Okay, next up, Kodagu now. Okay, so definitely you're gonna want to change this call to action button color. It doesn't contrast very well with this green, so I would take this. We'll make it white. And then we'll make the text inside of it. Where's the color property? Perhaps, you know, we could use the green maybe. Why is it not letting me color pick the green? What the hell? So annoying. Yeah, the color picker's active. It's highlighted in blue, and now I can't select anything. Very frustrating. Well, I could just eyeball it somewhere around there, or you know what? Probably make it that color and then just go font weight bold. This would, you wouldn't want this black here, but it changed both of them unfortunately. And then more white space. Things are clumped in together. Push things out. Everybody's like cramming things in when you have all this space to work with. At least on, you know, this larger resolution. I would also scale down the, I wouldn't have as much white space on the top and the bottom here. You know, really cut that almost in half of what it currently is. Especially if it's going to be a fixed nav up there because it takes a lot of the space. That's long. That's a lot there. Whew. I might want to stop at, you know, 1, 2, 3, 4. And then just have like learn more or see more features or something like that. I don't know. Or just like not do this way and just have these 3 in 3 columns with an icon or something like that. Because it's a lot of scrolling. Outside of that, pretty cool graphic here. Consistent color scheme. Not too bad. All right, what do y'all think this person should get? 1 being the worst, 10 being the best. Camera focus is gone. What are you talking about? Yeah, I mean, it's hard for me to get this camera to focus correctly. I control it with my phone. Okay, there we go. I think that's better. Okay. So, how long have I been streaming? It's only been 30 minutes. Wow. Feels like I've been doing this forever. Okay, so for this, let me refresh back to the original. Again, not absolutely horrible, not the best thing I've ever seen. I'm going to give this a 6.8. Yeah, I think that's fair. Okay, continue on. All right. Skiter Global. I'm hot. I'm gonna yell down to my wife and like, dude, what did you do with the heat? Oh, all right. No, I am not building anything. I'm reviewing people's designs. Let's refresh this. No animation, that's okay. Decent navigation up here. Grow wealth passively. I would get that in more. Reduce the white space in the middle. Probably want to increase this contrast a little bit. It's a little bit dark. decent right here. Maybe, well, it's fine. Now, the one thing that's a little bit strange here to me is this element. There's just too much happening here. There's like 1, 2, 3, 4 different panels, but they're not separated from each other visually very much, so it just looks kind of like a cluttered mess, really. Not to be an ass or anything, but I think it needs to be a little bit more simplified and less cluttered, like how it is right now. So simplify that area, rework it. Probably push get started down a little bit more from that because it's pretty close to these 3 elements. Also, this is presumably supposed to be this white area underneath this person, like a shadow. It was probably meant to work on a white background. I would make this very dark, and this white part very dark as well. It would fit much better. All right, this area is pretty decent. The type is a little bit small, but it's okay. It's kind of like the same gripe with this sort of this white part. This is kind of hard to read here where it's that vibrant light blue color. So I might want to ease down on this gradient, or just make sure that this part's a little bit darker of a blue. All right, what do y'all think this person should get? 1 being the worst and 10 being the best. Me, for this, I will rate it a, you know, we're getting like every single entry I've had so far, they're all very similar in terms of quality, I think. I mean, yeah, I'm gonna have to give this one, you know, like a 6.5 or so. Usually we'll get an 8.5 and then like a 3. You know, which is okay. What the hell happened? Did I completely lose my space? Unreal. Okay, here we go. Whoa, what is happening here? This is interesting. All right, let's refresh this. See if there's any animation. No, there is not. All right. Digital artist and front ender. All right, so I would probably want to make this a little bit more prominent. It seems not quite as much of an important feature as it should be, because I mean, I guess it's okay. At least it does contrast well with this up here, this sort of illustrative logo. High quality graphic here. That's very cool. I like it. It fills it out. Oh, we have an enter. It's like a splash screen from that. We used to do that way back in the day. All right. Well, if you're an illustrator, you're not necessarily going to be an expert in UI design, and really, if you're an illustrator, you want people to look at your work, and you're clearly featuring and showcasing your work as much as possible. I can see. One thing I would suggest is like up here in this area, I would want to have some sort of call to action rather than just, you know, because you're doing the same thing right here. So there's no direction outside of just scrolling down. It's not a huge gripe, but you're probably trying to get people to hire you or get prints. So I would have some sort of call to action in that regard, one of those ways. Down here, it looks like this isn't quite finished because it says coming soon, coming soon. I'm not sure. This area is pretty decent, but then we have this big empty area down here, and this stuff is kind of just thrown off over here to the right. Over here, it's kind of just randomly thrown, so it feels unfinished. So I would, you know, work with that for sure. Outside of that, good illustrations. What do y'all think this person should get for a rating? 1 being the worst, 10 being the best. Oh, also, you do not need you don't need this enter area. It's just complete. It's in my opinion, they're unnecessary. It just requires an extra click from the visitor to get to the main content. So start here, maybe feature this one first in your first slide, and then that way you have all this orange area where you can put in some text and give them a button to click while still showcasing her. I think that would be good. All right, so we're gonna say for this one, I'm gonna rate this like a 7, I think, because I'm also pretty impressed by the graphic design as well, or the illustrations. All right, next up is, oh, I think that was the one that we just seen. Yep, it was. I want to make sure. All right, refreshing. All right, so a premium high quality templates platform. We create websites, HTML templates, PHP scripts, and more. All right. So the logo, you can see how there's like a little bit of text, like a slogan text or whatever. I would get rid of that entirely. Also, the A and the S with the lines so close together, they get kind of blurry and lost, so it makes it look a little bit just cheap. I might want to rework that logo if I were you. Also, like even the icon, you need to have more white space separated between the red and the blue forms. That way, at smaller shapes, it's a little bit more identifiable. Outside of that, the nav is good. The contact us, this call to action is pretty good here. Personally, when it comes to these style of illustrations, which are clearly templated, I like to see something a little bit more unique. It's not a huge deal, but I mean, it still works pretty decent. But I do like this little graphic down here. I like stuff like that just to make the layouts more interesting. I would have more padding inside of the cards. So right now you have a padding of 30 pixels and 20 pixels. So if I go to 2M units, at least have that much, maybe 2.5. And then that way there's more white space inside. They look a lot better now in my opinion. Here's what they were before. So yeah, see how it just feels too pushed up against the edges? I would change that. Again, I've talked about this. I even made videos about this. Having the progress rating bars showing how deficient you could be at certain things. Like, this could be a red flag, the JavaScript. You know, maybe somebody really wants strong JavaScript. Well, you don't have to put that right out in front saying that you're not good at JavaScript. I mean, what if what they want is something pretty simple? They're still going to say, ugh, they lack in JavaScript. Also, having different colors here, like the JavaScript, you can barely even read because of the white or the light gray on there. So make them probably all the same color for the labels. Now this is a little strange to me because when you hover over them, you can clearly see the card shape, but now you don't, and they're not even. Like this one's up here a little bit, so there's an inconsistency in the card presentation, so to speak. So I would rework that. Our works. This is confusing because I can't tell how many there are. Separate those out with the gap property, whether you're using Flexbox or the CSS grid, and have clear white space between them. All right, what do y'all think this purchase get? 1 being the worst and 10 being the best. I'm gonna give this one, again, there's a lot of areas that are pretty solid, some not so much. So I'm gonna have to give this one a 6.7. I think that's fair. All right, next up. It has another one of those illustrations that just seems so generic, like right here. I would try to come up with something more unique. Outside of that, a little bit too busy in this area. The red, not sure about that choice, especially in relation to this greenish yellow color. I'll probably try to simplify this a little bit more. I would completely get rid of the social media icons, or if you have them, put them down further, make them a little bit smaller, maybe less contrast, because they're not such a huge, because you already have a get in touch button, so you could put that stuff right down there. That way you could simplify this area a lot more, because there's a lot happening here. All right, coming down my tech stack. Yeah, I mean, some of these illustrations, the colors don't really work well with the bluish, overall blue-white color scheme that you have here. So the muted gray, the green, that's like not really contrasting well. I would take the background color here that's sitting on and then slightly increase the brightness. And that way the colors work together a little bit better. All of these bold and colored, like yellow, like it's just, it makes it way too busy. So simplify that area. I made a joke on Twitter, I forget how many like weeks ago or whatever, about COVID-19 trackers. I mean, ideally you want to not have that if possible, just because everybody's doing it, and it kind of just says, I'm a beginner, I don't have enough real projects. Try to do whatever it takes to get real projects that are unique. All right. What do y'all think that this person should get for a rating? 1 being the worst, 10 being the best. Here we go. We're finally getting a little bit more viewers. For me, I'm going to give this one a 5.7. Yeah, I think that's fine. Probably pretty fair. All right, continuing on. All right, this person is spamming theirs. No, thank you. Chill and relax with Stand Axe. Okay. Okay. What is this? What is that? Obviously, it's not finished. I hope to God that's not finished, and that's like what you're trying to do. Obviously, probably not. So yeah, I don't know what's happening here. Something's supposed to go here. It's applications. All right, so a little bit of issue with the grammar here, but let's not mind that. Let's take a look at the design itself. So home, ooh yeah, get rid of that. You do not want that. Those big old drop shadow glow things. Nope, don't want that. So if anything, maybe you can make the text bold or something. But take this whole area, put it over here where feedback ends right here, which is defined by this column that's defined at the end here. Too much white space between this associated icon and its applications. Too much white space between here. The cards could possibly work, but you're cutting off at the bottom. It just kind of ends abruptly. You should still see the top and bottom based on what you're doing here. Too much text here, not enough line height. And caps locking and also bolding these makes it just a little bit cluttered visually. Form needs big work. It's probably only placeholder values. You want actual labels. And not enough white space down there. All right, so what do y'all think this person should get? 1 being the worst, 10 being the best. this is a solid area up here, except when you hover over them. So the nav is pretty decent outside of that part. I like the color scheme overall for the most part. There's a lot of white space, so nothing's crammed together too much, with exception to the line height. So it's an interesting one. I think for this one, I'm just going to give like a 5.9 or so. It has a chance to be decent. All right. Was that person's or no? Oh, the card will be replaced with the 3D model. Okay, well that makes sense. Okay. I didn't read that part. Next up. All right, I like the interesting take on the type. So yeah, this is obviously maybe like not something they created from scratch, but it's more unique at least than that other, the other ones that we saw. Expand, evolved, give your business a boost with website that makes sense. Yeah, I like that. This is all pretty solid right here. I like it. Nice, good white space. Let's check out more. What does that do? Oh, okay. Let's go back up. Good icons. I do cursor pointer on these two. But nonetheless, I'm not seeing anything that's really sticking out as being problematic. They are at least floating labels. I would use the ARIA labels as well here for accessibility. All right. Probably space this out a little bit more. Put margin top on this element and push it that way. It's a little bit better. Let's talk business. Seems out of place here, honestly, between the two columns. I would want to slightly rework that, but for the most part, everything here is pretty solid. What do you all think this person should get? 1 being the worst, 10 being the best. And also, they didn't use a hamburger menu. They didn't need to collapse it because they only have 3 links, so that's good. For me, I'm going to go ahead. I would say it's the best so far, yeah. We're going to give this one a like 8.1 or so. Very good. All right. Barbershop. Hairologists. All right. Only for men. You woman, don't you enter this place. We make you look your best. Book now. Book now seems... I want to make that at least a little bit larger and push it down a little bit more. Or you could also give it the background, a solid background color of this beige sort of color with black text. This is a good design section right here. World Class Barbershop, Book Now. Yeah, all pretty solid. I'm not sure about the little shadow, box shadow here being this color. I would personally probably make that just slightly lighter than the background, although that's nitpicky. We have the best barbers, meet the barbers. All right, right here, here, and here. I like it. It was pretty solid. Nice. All right, what do you all think this person should get for a rating? 1 being the worst and 10 being the best. Definitely upper 7s. It's not realized yet in the browser, so might be a little bit heavy on the borders. I don't know. All right, I'm going to give this one a 7.8, 7.9 or so. Pretty solid. Nice. Okay. We're only going to be doing this for about, what time is it? 5 to 10 more minutes. So if you want me to get to yours You have to send in at least $5 for a super chat. All right, $5 or more. All right, so next up, this is a podcast app. All right, good night, it says. Sports, entertainment, blah, 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 blah. From what I see, I don't see anything too majorly wrong here. Sometimes it's kind of hard to tell when it's just in a mock-up like this, like what it looks like in real life. Seems like it could benefit a little bit more from variation in the type or having... I'm not sure. It's just like right in this area right here where it has sports, investments, health, and then a label right underneath it. It's a little bit cluttered, so you can fix that in multiple ways. Maybe put these in like slightly lighter color backgrounds, like as cards or something, or this whole section in a different background or something like that, possibly. Either way, from what I see, it's not too bad, but there's just not enough for me to like sit there and rate it. But from what I see, it looked pretty good. Next up. Oh, what is happening here? Let's refresh that. That's interesting. Seems like this might be like a 3JS type of site or something like that. I'm not sure. Don't like this kind of a big just bar here. I would continue this all the way there if that was the intention. Like the micro interactions and the animations. Pretty solid overall. Yeah, I do like it. I mean, I'm not too sure about having like the white bars or the black bars in this case on the right and left. I might be better just to extend it all the way. It does take a little while for that animation to load in, so I'm not sure if I'm a fan of that much. So what do you all think this person should get for a rating? Now it just doesn't work anymore. I don't know what happened. What is going on? Like I see stuff, but like I don't see stuff, but the cursor changed. There it goes. Yeah, I'm gonna give this one. There were some issues with it, so I'm gonna give this one like a 7.5 or so. All right. I am starving. Some people are just haters. Yeah, no big deal. Was this the site I just did? Wait. There we go. Epic X. Hi, I am somebody's name who I can't pronounce. A college student. All right, so clearly issues here with white space. It looks like it wasn't really accounted for, so you'll want to deal with that. I don't know what's happening. What is this? So it looks like a portfolio, but it feels like a chat application, honestly. So things are kind of getting mixed up here a little bit. Because this feels like it's like a Discord server, like very similar, as you can see with this bar over here and this. So I don't know what this is. Seems like it's like a GitHub API or something that's pulling stuff. Like, I don't know if I would feature that so prominently. Most people aren't going to know what's going on there. So I would rework this. Let's click on my work. The color scheme's pretty cool, but again, I think it's just a little bit confusing. And this, having this next, and it's just strange to me. Need to fill out the UI more. Make people be able to like scroll down and access that information more easily. So what do y'all think this person should get for a rating? 1 being the worst, 10 being the best. My back is killing me. I'm such an old man. Freaking sucks. I'm going to give this one, just because, yeah, it's kind of confusing. Yeah, we're going to have to go with a lower rating, but probably around just a 6 or so. I wouldn't say a 3. I mean, the design, like, you know, I really like the colors, and there's some good white space here. Oh, we got that going on. Yeah, so I just think it needs to be, the layout and the idea behind it needs to be rethought a little bit. All right, we are going to do one more rating, or review rather, and that will be, I think Frank, we already did this one. That was a super chat. VK. Oh, this one looks pretty decent. Refresh, we had some animation here. Okay. All good so far. Really solid here. I'm not sure about the real heavy drop shadow here, but for the most part, really solid. What font is this? I like it. Oh, it's Poppins, my favorite font of 2021. Okay. Yeah, this is all solid. Only placeholder values, you're going to want to work that though. This is solid. Yeah, no, not too many gripes here. What do y'all think this person should get for a rating? 1 being the worst and 10 being the best. I would push this down though, a little bit away from this logo. A little bit text heavy around here. I'm going to give this one a 8.1 or 2. Yeah, something around there. Very solid. Awesome. All right, that is it, everybody. So I'll be trying to do these more often, and I'll see you all next week. And of course, I have the new Scrimba course coming out. Let me just give you a little preview of that real quick, for those of you who are interested. Let me get out, actually let me go to Figma. I'll show you what this course is about in a second. So we're gonna get started. So basically the course premise is code for designers rather. So the idea is kind of like two different purposes. We're gonna take, the whole purpose is to take designs that are really solid, like Figma prototypes, and learn how to take those and translate those into HTML, CSS, and some JavaScript. So a lot of times when you're learning HTML and CSS, you're not really working with great designs because they're usually created by just front-end developers. But because I can do both, I got some really cool layouts that will be challenging for you to create, and then you'll see my solutions. So it's interactive, of course, because it's on Scrimba. So yeah, dude, no. Timeout. Oh no, a screen changed. Sorry, let me get back here. Yeah, so what it's gonna be is we're gonna start off very simple. So it's all project based. So this is like the first project, and your goal here within Figma is to take this this obviously isn't a full layout. It's just a component. So we start very simple, and then as the projects, as we go through projects, they get more and more like intense into full layouts that all have to be responsive. And you need to try to get them to look like this as accurately as possible and function and work well in the browser using Scrimba. So we start with this one, and then we end up, let me go back here real quick. We end up with working on this one. All right, so we can see clearly it is quite a bit of a more involved, interesting layout. You need to try to make this animate. Try to create, use the grid or Flexbox to create this and all this stuff, and ultimately make it responsive as well. So yeah, there's a bunch of projects like this that will really challenge you to create designs that are based on polished Figma prototypes. And yeah, so I'm not sure how much it will cost. That's up to Scrimba, however they do that, but it'll be ready by end of next week for sure. Sometime during the week after. So I'm just not sure. I have to record actually today the casts for this final project, and then I have to do some edits from other ones. But yeah, awesome stuff. I will see you all very soon. So maybe we'll do this next week. All right, goodbye.